One more thing. Got it. Welcome, everybody. My name is Payal Tandon. I'm one of the co-founders of e-GMAT. With me, I have Rajat Sadana, one of the other co-founders of e-GMAT, and Atul Kumar, our COO. So we are very excited to have you all here. And the fact that you're here means that you're thinking about that next step in your career. So three of us are going to make sure that we make this next hour to be a very valuable time investment for you so that you can decide if e-GMAT is truly the appropriate next step for you. Okay, so as I said, my name is Payal Tandon. I'm one of the co-founders, and this year, 2022, it's my charter to scale e-GMAT to that next level, and that is why we are here talking about e-GMAT. But before we go into our introduction, let's talk about you all. We are going to spend a couple of minutes just to know you all as a group. And today we have, let's see, how many participants? 177 participants. So we are going to spend a couple of minutes just to ask you certain questions. So Rajat, can you share the questions? Do I need to stop sharing my screen or? No? Okay, all right. So in your screen, you would be seeing certain questions here. Which position have you applied for? If more than one, then just select the one that you're most inclined towards. So put in your answers there. So Rajat, will they be able to see the poll as well as the poll answers are being posted? What is that? You
Ra-
were muted, Rajat.
Rajat, you muted.
Only then.
Once
Once,
you end the poll. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
I'll share it with them.
Good,
So
perfect. Yeah.
yes. So we have three questions, not very challenging, and about 200 folks here. Very, very simple questions. The first one's which position have you applied for? The second is are you a student? The third is were you referred to this position by someone, and then how did you get to hear about it? So, I'm going to give you another probably 10 seconds. We have about 143 responses, 145.
Good. I'm happy to see the involvement here, the participation here. That's good.
Yes, five, four, three, two, and one. I'm going to end the poll and I'm going to share the results. So you guys should be able to see the results right now. Okay. So
Interesting.
yeah.
QA tester has 46% of participants have applied for QA tester position. Then I would say the next two popular ones are business consultant and HR operations.
Yes.
And then MBA Communications Leader at the third level here, and then SEO and Sales Manager. Okay, all right,
Mm.
interesting. Then e-GMAT students. So we have 15 e-GMAT students. Welcome you all. Good to see you again here. And all right, were you referred to? Okay, majority of people were referred to for a position here. That's good to know.
No,
We
no, no.
always
Pile 50 out of 165, not majority.
Oh, okay, okay. I misread it. Sorry, yes. So 33%, one third of them were referred to
Yes,
for a
yes,
position. Yeah,
yes.
thank you for correcting me. Yeah. Okay. And then we have LinkedIn posts and IM jobs. Okay, good. I would say almost an equal split between other channels and LinkedIn posts. I guess there must be some confusion between e-GMAT communication and other channels, I'm
No,
guessing.
I'm curious. So for those of you who've selected other channels, where can you please refer in the on the chat side?
Yeah.
What are the other channels? Those who've said other channels, how did you get to these positions?
There's one
If you
third
can,
of the
yeah,
participants have said other
yes,
channels. Yeah.
yes. Okay, knock
Naukri.com. Okay. Ah.
college group chat.
Which
In
college? That's interesting. Yeah. Which college? e-GMAT employee. Okay. Ah, that got it. Got it.
perfect,
Uh-huh.
wonderful.
Got it. Very nice. So
All
then
right.
other channels include referrals then. That's what I'm guessing, right?
Yes, they do.
Seems like it. Okay. All right. Let's get going now. Good. Very nice to hear that. So with that, let's carry further here. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to explain to you, first of all, what is e-GMAT DNA. Now, if you think about it, your workplace occupies at least a third of your life. So you should be absolutely sure about the culture that you're signing up to be a part of. And that is why we believe that it's our responsibility to explain to you our DNA. And then we are going to go through each and every position one by one in detail, explaining to you the kind of skills that we are looking for, the kind of work that you would be doing, and the way you would be progressing once you join in a particular position. And again, think of this part to be an extension of what you've already read in the job descriptions. Lastly, and I believe most importantly for you guys, we will be going through the selection process so that you understand what are all the steps in the selection, and you are absolutely clear about that. And towards the end, we're going to open up the podium for your questions. And again, throughout this session, as you get questions, do continue to post them in the Q&A pod. If we feel that those questions are not answering, those questions will not disrupt the flow of our presentation, we'll take them through the presentation. But rest assured, all your questions will be answered towards the end, as long as you're posting them in the Q&A pod, as Rajat said. Okay, because in the chat, as you can see, your questions are bound to get lost. All right, so with that, let's start talking about who we are. Now, if you look at our name, e-GMAT, you would automatically draw that conclusion that we are a typical test prep company, more specifically, a company that sells courses for GMAT preparation. I'll say you'll be partially correct, and I'll explain to you why. Yes, we have the world's best course and services for the GMAT, but this description, this classification does not capture our true nature. From our core, we are a product company that operates in the test prep industry with the sole purpose to make our students reach their target score efficiently through our effective learning solutions provided to the students using technology. So, the two words that I want you to think about here, which make us stand apart from a regular test prep company, is that we are a product company. Secondly, technology. And the rest of the next 10 minutes, I'm going to explain to you why we are saying what we are saying here. So at this point, I want you to understand what is the value that we add in the student's life. Now, if you think about it, our student, his or her goal is to achieve that target GMAT score as a step in the direction of fulfilling the MBA dream. And at this point, I want you to think about, what does it mean to ace the GMAT? Acing the GMAT is similar to hitting the bullseye. Most people know which direction to throw the dart in, yet very few people are able to hit that bullseye. So acing the GMAT is very similar. Everyone roughly knows what to prepare. You have to prepare for quant, verbal. Verbal has SC, you need to understand certain basics and then solve questions. But there are very few who ace the GMAT. Only 3% of the test takers score a 730 or a higher score. Now, at the same time, you will hit the bullseye every time if there were a way to change the course of that dart while it's moving towards the bullseye, so that every forward movement that your dart takes, it takes the dart closer to the bullseye. It is going to be still the force of the student, the hard work of the student, but the direction and the course correction will come from us. Okay, so with this understanding, I want you to now focus on how is it that a regular test prep company works, and how does a regular test prep company approach hitting this bullseye. And essentially, if you think about it, a test prep company is going to give you lessons with some practice questions. And then at the end of 2 to 3 months, roughly, it'll ask you to take a mock test with the hope, fingers crossed, that you're going to get to your target score. But at that time, it's highly likely that you are going to miss the target, because during those 2 to 4 months, you may not have been following the lessons the way you were supposed to follow, or the shortcuts and the tricks that were given to you may not have worked as well as you had hoped. In other words, a regular test prep company just tells you a very coarse direction in which to aim your dart and throw the dart. Some hit, but most of them miss. So it's very hard to predict success if you're working with a test prep company. Okay, your dart will continue to swerve. Okay, that's the problem. Now, at this point, let's see how is it that we solve that problem. The answer to this question describes why I initially said that we are a product company. So think about it this way. We make hitting that bullseye very predictable. How do we do that? We do that through tracking every piece of learning that we design. Okay. We make sure that we capture upwards of 25,000 data points and we give you feedback as to whether you're moving as planned towards that bullseye. And if you deviate, we give you the course correction. An average e-GMATer gets more than 500 points of personalized feedback. Our system is so structured that every 30 minutes that you spend on the system, the student would know whether that time was well spent in the direction of hitting that bullseye or not. Okay. So that's the power. We predict success so confidently that we can say with utmost confidence that 90% of the students who hit our internal metrics would ace the GMAT. Not only that, we can also say that 99% of students who do not hit our internal metrics will fail on the GMAT. In other words, we constantly monitor the direction in which your dart is moving. We do the course correction when and as needed. And as a result, you hit that bullseye a lot more frequently. Now, I'm going to sum it up and I'm going to reiterate. We are a product company. It's very important to understand who we are that operates in the test prep space and that provides predictable success that's driven by the people. People who design sustainable and logical methods to solve questions, verbal or quant, no shortcuts, no tricks. People who ensure that students will follow these methods, okay? And people who design the technology to provide this level of personalization. So with that context, it's important to understand what is it that we have accomplished so far. And for that, I'm going to put forth some comparative numbers. So does our DNA truly translate into comparative advantage for our students? Okay. And I'm going to leave that for you to decide through the data that I will show you. So, GMAT Club, let's talk about that. GMAT Club is the world's largest community for GMAT aspirants. And why I'm talking about it, you're going to understand that shortly. Almost all leading companies that offer GMAT prep solutions are partners on this platform. Now, as students take the GMAT, a fraction of them post their reviews on GMAT Club. And I'm going to share data regarding these reviews. And why is this data important? Because first of all, GMAT Club is a neutral source. Secondly, every single review on this platform is validated using an official score report so that you know that every review, whether negative or positive, is posted by a real person who has purchased the test prep course and has taken the GMAT, and the score based on which the review has been posted has been verified by this neutral party GMAT Club. And I want you to think about this, that this is very different from posting a review on Google, where all you need is a Gmail account to post a review. There's no verification required. So here's the first chart of the total number of reviews for each of these companies. Yes, e-GMAT has the highest number of reviews, but not only that, even when you add up the number of reviews of all the other companies, that sum is still smaller than the number of reviews that e-GMAT has. 2071 versus 2332 to be precise. I want you to keep that in mind. So this has been the number of reviews till date. Now you may wonder, some of the partners may have joined later. So what can you tell me about 2021? How did we do in this last 1 year, 2021? So let's look at that data here. Now, this is a comparison of the number of reviews of Indian test prep companies, which include CrackVerbal and GMAT and e-GMAT. And I guess the pie chart here says it all. I don't need to explain that at all. And the difference becomes even more stark when you drill down to the number of V37 plus scores, which represents more than 80 percentile score, and Q49 plus scores. And the sheer size of our bar says it all. Along with the order of magnitude, difference that exists, there is also a multiplier of 2, so 20x, if you understand what I mean. Now, this is all about the Indian companies. Now, how about changing the landscape to companies outside of India? Now, here we have Target Test Prep and then a couple of other companies. Now, here too, in 2021, we have lion's share of success. We account for twice as much success as Target Test Prep does. Now, the difference becomes even more stark when we compare the success in verbal and quant. Even though we launched our groundbreaking quant course only in the 7th month of last year in July, we accounted for 4 times as much success in quant as Target Test Prep did. And why is that phenomenal? Because Target Test Prep was known for its quant course ever since its inception. At the same time, we continue to maintain our solid position in verbal. All right, so now where are we headed? Okay, this is where we have been till now. Where does that take us next? Where do we want to take ourselves next? Product company that's focused on delivering student scores through effective learning solutions made possible by technology. We want e-GMAT to make it possible for twice as many people to realize their GMAT scores as we did in 2021. Not only that, we want to use our technology and our learning pedagogy to help GRE aspirants reach their target scores. And then in 2023, we want to extend our reach to other standardized tests such as SAT, ACT, and so on. Okay. So the learning still now, we are a product company that operates in the test prep arena. We account for lion's share of success of GMAT aspirants, and we want to replicate this success in the other tests. Now I'm going to explain to you our DNA in a bit more detail so that you understand why is it that we are here where we are. And the single reason that has been possible, that has made it possible, is our people. Starting from the founding team that is composed of Rajat, Abhinav, and I, we started this company more than a decade ago, and e-GMAT is still our bread and butter. We three have no other distractions. Why is that important, you may think? Because the razor sharp focus of founders to grow the business is the key to success. And I would encourage you all to read about us on our About Us page. Now, alongside of the founding team is the office of Chief Operating Officer, Atul, a team of 3 people that facilitates multiplying the impact of all the departments with its relentless focus on planning, risk management, and metrics tracking. Okay, so we are now going to take a look at the departments that do this magic and look at the number of people in each and every department. Okay, 6 people in subject matter department, 6 in customer success, 2 in e-learning department, 4 in design, 1 in SEO, 2 in marketing, and 6 in technology, and 4 in sales. Now at this point, let's draw a few inferences. Our SMEs and customer success team account for almost 40% of our department workforce, and for the right reasons. These are the people who liaise with the students, making them successful, who create the products. Technology, e-learning, and design departments create products for our students. Okay, these departments constitute another 40% of the company. And the remaining 20% is composed of sales and marketing functions. And now, the last inference I want you to draw is the strong presence of these 3 departments: the COO, tech, and design. These are the hallmarks of a product company. So now we're going to take a look at what have we been able to create with this marvelous team. We've created our own learning management system that tracks every single click made by the student, giving feedback every 30 minutes that the student spends on the platform, telling the quality of learning from whether sufficient time was spent in learning the content to the score obtained to the score obtained on the content, and to whether did you spend sufficient time in reviewing the mistakes. I can go on and on about it, but Rajat, can you please post the link for everyone to watch with regards to this? Yeah, thank you. All right. Next up is personalized adaptive course engine. And we are going to post another detailed video so that you guys can watch the details of this. So this is PACE is what we call. We launched this last month. Not only do we give personalized study plans that are based on your initial and target scores, but we also give you personalized courses. Our PACE platform can deliver more than 1,000 individualized courses so that the students only learn the things that they need to learn so that they don't waste their precious time in learning things that they already know. We are the only company in the world that has offered such a learning platform. Okay. Now, in the name of analytics, when our competitors talk about percent accuracy, we talk about percent accuracy relative to the difficulty levels, and we ensure that we bring in the chronology of the attempt as well. Because think about it. After all, a topic may have been your weakness, let's say 10 days back, but after working on the improvement plan, you deserve to know where you stand today. Okay. Upon understanding this student need and building sophisticated data structures in the back end to support such computations, we provide such analytics to our students so that they draw insights based on hundreds of questions in just a matter of few seconds. So go through the video that Rajat is going to share right now with regards to the analytics. Now, let's take a deep dive into quiz level. And again, it's important for you to understand the kind of enhancements that we do, the kind of technology that we build, the kind of product that we create, so that you know the kind of work that you will be doing once, or that you would be supporting once you decide to join and once you get employment here. Okay, that's the reason why I'm going through all these products that we have created. Okay. So let's say a student takes a quiz, student gets a score of 84% weighted accuracy, but the question that he's going to ask is that score replicable? Okay. Was there a luck factor involved? Did I rush through certain questions? Now, even a private tutor cannot do this analysis without spending upwards of 15 minutes per quiz. But through the effectively created questions and brilliantly built data analytics, we provide this information at a click of a button to every student for every quiz on our testing platform. Now, to create a solution that offers such predictable success, there has to be perfect alliance of technology with the content, and that's where our content products come into picture. Till date, we have created upwards of 10,000 questions, each question tested and scaled per student responses. Each question supported with detailed solutions so that the student does not get any doubts. Each question enhanced on a continuous basis as we get student feedback. And you'll see continuous improvement is something which is a very integral part of our DNA. Each and every learning content on our platform, all 300 hours of it, has been created by our subject matter experts. We don't buy content from anywhere, we create our own content. Okay. Till date, 500 million minutes of content have been watched. Last year alone, this number was 700 million minutes. So you can just understand the extent of content that we have created and the extent of content that's consumed by students. And all the content that you see, whether it's in this presentation or in the course or on the website or in each and every application of ours, has been designed by our design team, who creatively creates the design language and follows that meticulously for each and every content item. So, with this, we are done with the first part of the meeting: who we are, what is our DNA. Now, let's look at who are we looking for. And for this, the first thing that I'm going to do before I go into specifics of the jobs, I want to first talk about the 4 traits that we look for. We call these behaviors. And we use these 4 traits as a basis of constant evaluation throughout our company. So it's very important to understand these. And as I go through the details of each and every job position, you'll be able to put these 4 traits into perspective. The first one is initiative. We believe in complete transparency. That is why everyone has access to all the data. If you, for example, are able to analyze the data and identify that a certain file in the course is not working as well for a certain segment of student, or if you analyze the data and identify that a certain free webinar that we conduct is not performing as well as the other webinars do, and if upon identifying this problem, you communicate the problem and also provide a proposal to solve that problem, we say that you have taken the initiative. Remember, we are not looking for you to solve the problem by yourself. At this point, we are just looking for you to identify and communicate the problem and give a possible solution. So, if you stay attentive and if you don't take things for granted, if you question the status quo for the right reasons using logical sense, and then you dig deeper to get to the bottom of the problem, for us, that is taking the initiative. Versus if you just say, yes, I see that as a problem, but that's not my job, then that would indicate lack of initiative. Okay. Next one, methodical. What does that mean? At e-GMAT, we believe that the difficult part is not solving the problem, but it is simplifying that problem into smaller chunks, meticulously identifying risks for each of those chunks, and then executing the solution of the simplified problem with relentless focus. That is what we call as methodical. Break down the complexity, simplify the complexity of the problem so that the each and every simplified problem becomes a much more solvable problem. Next up comes leadership. You don't need to have words such as leader or manager in your job title to demonstrate leadership qualities. I have a very simplistic understanding of this otherwise loaded and misused term. Leadership to me is simply taking people with you, motivating them to join forces with you to solve problems. That's what is leadership in my mind. And lastly, execution, a very critical behavior. What this tells us is how efficiently and how effectively can you execute a well defined list of tasks? How much guidance do you need? How many errors do you make? All of these factors indicate how well you execute. Now, one thing that you'll see over here is that I haven't mentioned brilliance anywhere because we prioritize effort and process over brilliance. Okay, so with this understanding of behaviors, let's do a deep dive into each position one by one. We're going to first begin with business consultant. Now you'll observe that I'm going to talk about the positions of business consultant, sales, and MBA Communications Leader in a lot more detail than the other jobs, QA tester, HR manager, and SEO, because these three jobs are very specific to e-GMAT. Now, yes, sales as a function is a very generic function, but the way we handle sales, that's very different. So we're going to go through a lot more details of these three jobs, but the other three jobs we're going to highlight. You're going to understand because they are, the regular understanding is not very different from what those functions are at e-GMAT, as long as you keep those behaviors in mind. So we'll cover those three in a little bit less detail. So let's start with business consultant. The key responsibilities for a business operations consultant. The first one is create the perfect learning path, leveraging data, making success predictable for your client. Now, to understand this, it's very important to understand your client. Who is your client? Your client is a person who's targeting that 730 plus score on the GMAT, that top 93 percentile, 97 percentile, right? A feat that requires dedicated focus. Also consider the constraints under which your client operates. Okay, and again, these things that I'm talking about also apply to sales. So people who have applied for sales as well as business operations, business consultant, pay close attention here. So your client is not a full-time student who has all the time in the world to prepare for this test. Furthermore, your client is on a very tight timeline. GMAT is one of the first steps, a very crucial step indeed, in his or her MBA journey. So now that you put all of that into context, you understand that making the right decision at various points in the journey is very critical. Remember the dart that we were throwing? It's very important that we continue to make sure that that dart, as throughout its trajectory, maintains the path that it needs to hit that bullseye. Okay. And the journey, that journey has its own shares of ups and downs. Life happens, people may get digressed from their GMAT path. Now, the e-GMAT platform will give your client all the tools that he or she needs, all the preparation material, all the right data, all the right processes. So the job of a business consultant is going to be that of your client's performance coach, helping your client make the right decisions in a timely manner so that your client's GMAT dream can be achieved. This is the key aspect of this role. Now, the channels through which you provide this performance, through which you provide this coaching, are emails and last mile push program. Now, Last Mile Push program is a program in which mentors work with students who have, let's say, reached that 75th percentile level, but they need that extra push to achieve perfection to that 90th or 95th percentile. Okay. So, but before you start participating in the Last Mile Push, which we call as LMP, first you have to, first you are going to get through detailed training so that you're able to act as performance coach of students who ask you questions via the email channel. Okay. So once a consultant shows a certain skill level, certain threshold skill level in coaching students via this email channel, then the consultant is going to get detailed training for LMP program. Okay. Now LMP program requires a whole different set of training. Why? Because here you're engaging with the student in much more longer engagement time. Okay. But the key thing to notice over here is that it's not that your emails are going to stop. You're going to stop responding to, you're going to stop coaching students via emails when you start with the LMP program. No, you are going to continue enhancing your skill set in solving problems of your students via the email channel as you build the new skill set of supporting them through the LMP program. Okay. And this is something which you're going to see across the board for all the positions. We're going to explain to you the skill matrix. What is the initial skill that we are looking for? We provide you with all the trainings for those skills, and then you continue. Once you reach a certain threshold, then we get you to the next level of training, and then you continue enhancing your skill set for all those responsibilities. Okay. Now, the next responsibility, once you gain experience helping your students, helping your clients reach the GMAT score, achieving that threshold of expertise and efficiency in conducting LMP program, you will then be deemed ready to conduct webinars. Again, each of these added responsibilities is something that you have to earn, right? It's not that you're not entitled to any of these. You have to show your expertise, your proficiency in coaching your clients via emails, via LMP program. And then you get the opportunity to now address more and more students through these webinars. Okay, through these success story interviews that you now conduct, so that you can now solve more problems of your clients. You can provide learnings of your clients through the media of success story interviews. Okay, so, and then towards the end, as you gain more expertise in solving problems of your clients, you then can work in the product. You can then give us recommendations for product enhancements, for various product creations, which can then help multiply our impact using technology. Okay. So again, the, all of these opportunities at various points in time, these are all opportunities for you to grab. But the thing that you have to understand is that you have to prove your mettle in the preceding skill, so that you can get the training for the next level. Okay. And
Add
yeah.
something to this. Um, just in terms of the business consultant position, I think I want to just add the context with regards to the performance of our folks last year. So, business consultants last year, each one of them who worked at e-GMAT delivered more than 40 reported 700 plus scores. Some delivered more than 100. Just to compare this, other than e-GMAT and Target Test Prep, no other company delivered more than 4,700 plus scores last year. So that's how impactful you as an individual would be and the kind of impact that you would make in people's lives. Also, in terms of this, I mean, people who've been in this position, this is an excellent platform for people to go into a product management. As you can see, product is the last stage, as well as a really good foundation to go for your MBA. People who've been in this position have gone on to go to top business schools worldwide and as well as gotten scholarships. So just want to add that context to what you get with the skills from this position.
Thank you, Rajat. Yeah. And again, I want to re-emphasize these four behaviors. The behavior of showing initiative to improve at every level, initiative to identify problem areas and find solutions. Behavior of being methodical in breaking down the problem in small parts and solving each part one by one. Methodical thinking through various risks. Then behavior of executing flawlessly, ensuring that you follow the laid out processes without cutting corners. All these behaviors will be demonstrated in your proficiency of doing your job. And as you demonstrate more proficiency, new opportunities will be up for grab. Okay. I always say, growth of e-GMAT depends on the growth of our employees. So as you progress through this skill matrix, starting from emails to LMP to doing webinars to giving product suggestions, e-GMAT is going to grow with you. Okay. And the thing is, at every step over here, you get dedicated training plan. So it's not like you have to do it all by yourselves. We are there to help you. We are there to help you build those skills. You just have to show us that you are ready for that you're ready to absorb those skills and move forward. Next, we're going to talk about
Just
sales manager.
one other question point. So people have been asking about how long does it take to go from one level to the other, and this is something that's going to be applicable for every position that we talk about. So at e-GMAT, we have a process where if you show proficiency at one level, you actually we want you to do more things. Let me just say it this way, because right now we don't have a dearth of opportunity, we have a dearth of people. So, for example, we have students who are successful who are waiting to be interviewed. We just don't have people to interview them. Um, as of now, if I were to host webinars with people who've gotten into Harvard, Stanford, or top B schools, I can probably get scheduled 10 within the next 2 days. It's just that I don't have time to really just conduct those webinars. So in terms of, but one thing that we won't do and we don't do is do something that's substandard, and that's where it's your ability to really just show, hey, you can reach that threshold and you're ready for that next level, which is where you get to the next piece. DJ, who's our head of our customer success team, he started a year before being promoted to lead the entire team. So it's like you show the capability, you get out of cycle promotions. Similarly, when you're working on the emails and LMP, it's not that you can't suggest enhancements on the product side. You absolutely can. So, and you would be exposed to the product more than anyone else because you'd be using the product way more than anyone else would. So yeah, so a lot of it is dependent on the drive that you show. That's what I would say. Yeah.
I would say chronology doesn't matter in terms of your progression in the company. What matters is what you show, the results that you show. Okay, so if you show the right results, you're going to get ahead. All right. Let's look at the sales manager position. And before I talk about sales, I want to make it very clear that at e-GMAT, we do not do any kind of cold calling. Okay, and that's a very big difference between how we handle sales versus how typically sales is construed. Okay, we talk to only those people who want us to help them solve their problems. That's a very, very important distinction that I want you to keep in context. Okay. Now, as the JD says, 80% of the time of a sales manager goes in converting prospects to customers. Okay, that is in solving problems of the prospects. So, after graduating from an extensive training program, each sales manager will start converting prospects through either emails or calls. And this is a process in which he or she will get better, as indicated through the improved conversions, reduced time to convert, and conversions of more difficult segments. And because all metrics are tracked, Each sales manager at any point in time will know the scope of improvement in in the skill set. And at e-GMAT, we empower you to take ownership of your skill development by equipping you with the knowledge of metrics of your performance on a continuous basis. Okay, data is very, very critical. Data is important for students, data is important for employees, for everything, right? So your improvement plans are not going to be linked to semi-annual or annual reviews. There are these set milestones in your skill matrix that tell you where you are at, okay, so that you can decide where is it that you want to go next, how much more you want to invest it, so that you can get to that level to be able to get the next level of training, okay. Now, once the sales manager reaches the threshold of conversion level, which is a very well defined threshold for the defined segment of prospects, it's going to be very clear as to what is it that you need to accomplish before you can get to that next level. He's going to continue improving the skill set in conversions, okay? And he's also going to get opportunity to train for that next milestone. That is reaching prospects through one-to-many fashion through these strategy sessions, specially curated strategy sessions, solving problems of a specific segment of prospects, and also through scheduled office hours in which prospects can join and then get their questions answered on the spot. And as you can see, once the sales manager gathers sufficient amount of experience solving problems on one-to-one basis while when he's converting through emails and calls, he or she will be ready to move on to solving problems of more than one prospect through these webinars and office hours. So you can see the progression in the skill set. And then as the sales manager crosses the set threshold level for conversions and impact through one-to-many, he or she gets the opportunity to identify process improvement opportunities, to propose projects for the same, and once approved, execute these process improvement projects, okay? And these process improvement projects could include things such as, various measures to ensure bookings happen through various channels, measures to improve conversion of specific segments of prospects, or measures to make sales conversion process more efficient by using automation. And as with our business consultant position, you know, after you reach a certain proficiency level, you can start to make suggestions on product enhancements, on product creations. And frankly, who better to recommend product updates than the people who talk to the students on a day-to-day basis, who solve clients' problems day in and day out. Okay. Now, let's come to the next one, communications leader. And this is one of the brand new positions in our marketing department. And it's our mantra that marketing should solve a specific problem of the target segment. And one problem that our students have is getting information in a very easy to consume manner, information that they can trust. In today's day and age, there is no dearth of information, but sometimes that information is not accurate, sometimes it's not in a palatable fashion. And that's where this position comes in. The MBA Communications Leader will create well-researched videos that educates our students and prospects with the latest and greatest in the GMAT and the MBA world. And at this point, I do want you to look at or just bookmark these videos that Rajat would share on consulting job landscape and online GMAT, just to get an idea of the topic of these videos and what is it that we are looking for in these videos. Okay. Now, one thing that continually motivates our students is hearing about the struggles and wins of other students, right? Raja just mentioned that we have students who are already in the top MBA schools, but we don't have the bandwidth to actually interview them. And these interviews, whether they are for MBA successes or GMAT successes, they're very, very motivating for all our students, okay? Because our students need to know that they are not the only one in the difficult situation. They need to be constantly reminded that wins are definitely possible and in fact predictable as long as they follow good study habits. And for this reason, conducting these success story interviews is a very critical part, okay? And then once the person in this position reaches a certain skill level, then he or she will be able to plan our YouTube strategy. Looking at the data, he or she will be able to draw inferences about the kind of videos that garner more attention from our students, and hence will be able to prioritize the list of videos to be created so that we continue to provide the latest and the greatest from the MBA world that help solve problems of students. And towards the end, this person will be ready to be entrusted with the management of the entire social media channel. So, all in all, this position is a highly leveraged one in that each output created here stands to touch hundreds, if not thousands, of people, making a difference in their lives.
I think this is a what I call it, is a lot of fun position. It's a position that if frankly I had the opportunity to work on, I would do. Um, and I've shared some videos that you can look at. Uh, those are representation of the kind of videos maybe you'd probably be able to create higher quality videos um, with regards to this. But so definitely take a look at those videos at your end. Um, yeah. There's some questions about the sales position. I want to just really say this. At e-GMAT, we don't, as Pal said, we don't do cold calling. Our prospects actually schedule a call with you days in advance, and it's all done through Zoom and Calendly. And this is where these our sales managers are actually level one strategy experts as well. So you get trained on all of that. Okay, Pal, let's kind of go forward to the next one.
All right, SEO manager. Again, it's a typical SEO, technical SEO job. The first and the foremost thing that you would do in this position is maintain the ranks of our articles on our blog. Updating articles for Google updates, that's included here. Keeping articles for information updating articles from information standpoint, that is what you're going to do. Keeping the blog error free, that's the primary responsibility. Now, as you start to show proficiency here, then you're going to start planning articles for major events, for example GMAT news, news releases from B schools, and so on and so forth. Okay. And then after that, you're going to also, once you again show proficiency, you're going to then strategize the growth in traffic. You're going to do deep dive of keyword analysis. You're going to coach the content writers in our subject matter team, in our sales team, in our consultant team. You're going to coach them to write articles, right? You're going to help them help rank these articles that are written by the content creators, right? So again, it's a typical technical SEO job. Okay. And if writing is something that you love, then definitely we would love for you to write articles as well. Okay. And you're going to see this in the hiring process as well for this position. Okay. Um, Next up is HR manager. Okay. Again, I would say typical HR job. Very important for us to make sure that we manage our recruitment process and we organize data in a very proper manner. Okay, so we are going to be indulging in quite a few hiring cycles. So the HR manager will be responsible for conducting those hiring cycles. Obviously, the HR manager is going to work with the individual hiring managers, but yes, the end-to-end execution of the process is going to be the responsibility of this HR manager. Once the employee joins in, managing the onboarding process, making sure that the employee gets inducted really well into the culture, into the various processes that we have. That is going to be the responsibility of the HR manager. And then managing the general training as well as department specific training. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that the HR manager needs to know needs to be able to conduct sales training, but yes, the HR manager would manage that entire training process, right? What kind of training does it, determining whether the employee needs basic word training or basic PowerPoint training, or whether the employee needs advanced training in MS Office, and then determining when to start the training in the specialized function. So all of that will be managed by the HR manager. Next up would be, everything needs to be improved. As I mean, we have our product is as good as it is today, but it is the worst version of our product. The same thing is true for our trainings, for our onboarding process. Everything can be and should be improved, because the day we stop improving, that's the day we stop growing. So yes, improve onboarding and training experiences. plan and execute employee engagement. Yes, we work hard, but we need to have fun as well, right? So the HR manager will be responsible for making sure that we have these activities that make us stay together, not just tied together because of work, but also because of the fun activities that are scheduled. And then just promoting company culture and become the face of the company, become that, rise through the show your acumen and show your proficiency, so that you become an integral part of the company, wherein you are now leading all the hiring and the training. So yeah, this is a typical HR manager position, and again, the more you do, the more opportunities you're going to get to showcase your skills and to make a difference in the company. And then last up is QA tester, which I believe majority of you have been waiting for here. Um, the first and the foremost thing is we create, as I said, we create products. We are a product company, right? So for you to do well in your job, you need to show proficiency in understanding the technical specifications that are written for each and every product that we create, right? Now, once you demonstrate that you've understood the technical specs, then you will execute the test cases that have been written by, let's say, a more senior person in the testing team. Okay, so that is going to be the core of your job. But once you demonstrate the skills there, we definitely want you to get to that next level, wherein you are the one who plans the test cases and who executes them, decides the sequence in which those test cases need to be implemented, the logical sequence, right? Then you continue to, because that's where we will be able to grow our QA testing team bandwidth. And then you improve the processes for testing. You think about how else can we automate it, can we increase the automation in the testing, right? And then you suggest enhancements to the specification. It has been, I don't believe there's been a single project in which the testing team led by Sujeev has not given us inputs as to, this chart needs to have this color, or this chart is a little confusing, so why don't you go and change this, and by the way, this should be the enhancement to the specification. So we want that feedback, because the more feedback we get from people who consume the content within the company, the more robust our product becomes. Okay, so that's very important. We want the QA tester to get to that next level. And then towards the end, everything, as you can see, almost every skill matrix ends with that product. Okay, you demonstrate certain, I mean, we don't want people to have a product manager in their title to have the authority to design products. Every skill matrix ends with that product, because we want your experiences, so that we can take those experiences and then develop as many products as we can. Okay, so that's about it for the second part of our presentation here, in which we talked about each and every job description, and we enhanced your understanding of what each job entails, in addition to the job descriptions that you've read on the website. Now let's talk about the process. End to end, this process can be as quick as you can get your job offers by the end of next week. And let me tell you how is it that we'll make that possible. Okay. Overall, the process is you apply for the job, which you guys have already done. That's why you are in this meeting here. You're going to get assessments, and we'll talk about these assessments in detail, because every job has different levels of, or different number of assessments, and I'll talk about that. So you go through the assessments, and then you're called for an interview. And then after the interview, we do a background check and we give you the offer. Okay, so the speed at which we can get to the background check and offer depends on you. Okay, so that's where now I'm going to talk about each job one by one, explaining the assessment process here. So for business consultant, the first assessment is going to be a video cover letter, and you're going to get this assessment by latest by tomorrow morning 9 a.m. You should have an email in your inbox latest by tomorrow 9 a.m., in which you're going to get the details of what this video letter cover letter should be. We'll start evaluating these cover letters as soon as we get them. Okay. Then the next assessment is essay writing assignment, which has to be done on the weekend in designated time slots. You're going to get, I think, anywhere from 2 to 4 time slots that you can select. These need to be 6-hour long time slots. Okay, so be sure that you are present 100% of the time during those 6 hours, because we are not going to accept submissions submitted beyond those 6 hours. Okay, so this will be done on Saturday and Sunday. From this, we're going to evaluate these on Monday, and you'll get people who move to the next round will get job specific assessment. And again, turnaround time for this could be, it should not take longer than 2 hours to do the job specific assessment. So anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. So as soon as you send those to us, we are going to do our evaluation. And if selected, you're going to be called for an interview as early as Wednesday. Okay, so it all depends upon, I mean, we have our schedules cleared for next week to evaluate your assignments, to conduct interviews. It all depends upon how quickly you submit those to us and how good those are, whether they pass our evaluation criteria or not. Okay. All right. So now let's look at sales manager. Exact same thing. First one is the cover letter. Okay. Video cover letter. Again, you're going to get it by 9 a.m. tomorrow. Second one is essay writing assignment. Exact same thing. You're going to get it. This is going to be a little different from the consultant position. It is an essay writing assignment, but a different one. But this will also be conducted on the weekend. Okay. And there's no third assignment here. We evaluate these assignments on Monday, and people who pass this evaluation, we call them for interview. We do the interview next week. You get we do the background check, and then you get the offer latest by Friday. Okay. Third one, communications leader. Now here things are a little different. You do the video cover letter. Okay, I'm not sharing that. Yeah. You do the video cover letter, same thing. Okay. Then you do a video essay. Now this is not something that you have to do during a 6-hour time window, but I would strongly recommend that you spend the weekend doing this video essay. Saturday, Sunday, dedicated time. You will need about, I would say, 6 to 8 hours to do a good job at it. Okay. If you do want to get through this quickly, then yeah, Saturday, Sunday, dedicate that, keep aside this weekend to prepare this video essay. We will evaluate it on Monday. If selected, you're going to get video critique assignment. This shouldn't be too long. This should be around 2 to 3 hours at max. Okay. And then if you're selected, you'll be called for an interview anywhere from Wednesday to Thursday. And then, yeah, you can get the job offer by Friday. Okay. So as you can see, all of these can be culminated by the end of next week, as long as we get your assignments in the right time frame. SEO Manager. This is the only one which can extend beyond next week. Why? Because again, you have the video cover letter, then if selected, you're going to get an assignment for SEO critique, which should take anywhere from 5 to 6 hours. So definitely think about spending the time on the weekend if you're interested in applying for this one. And then the essay writing assignment, this is similar to this will be done on the weekend. So this will need to be moved to the following weekend, right? So this is the only one for which we may not be able to do interviews the following weekend, but we can see we can open some time slots for this essay writing assignment during the week. Again, we can take it on a case by case basis. Then next one, HR manager, again, video cover letter. Assessment 1, assessment 2, spend the weekend in doing assessment 1, and then the first part of the next week to do assessment 2, so that we can call you for interviews in the second half of the week. And then QA tester, only one assignment. So spend the weekend on that so that we can evaluate those assignments in the first half of the week, and then we will call you for interviews in the second half of the week. So as you can see, I think that's about it. Yeah. So everyone will get the first assignment tomorrow. That is for video cover letter, or, okay, let me go through all of this here. So you can look at all these assignments here. So everyone is going to get Video cover letter assignment tomorrow, latest by 9 a.m. Okay. So submit that. Spend, you have 26th January to spend on this, on creating a video for us, so that we can review that on Thursday, Friday. And that would help us, that would help you select the blog. If selected, that would help you select your time slot for the weekend essay writing assignment. Okay. And then next week we can then go through the other assignments. So as I said, earliest you can actually, we can wrap up this hiring round easily by next Friday. Okay, so we can call you for interviews Wednesday, Thursday, and wrap it up on Friday. Okay, so that's about it from my side. Rajat, would you like to add anything here?
If there are a lot of
Yeah.
questions, there are a lot of questions about the assignments. So we just gave you an outline of the assignments. We didn't give you the details of the assignments. Every assignment, as it comes to you, will have very detailed instructions. And
Okay.
and and so just yeah. The idea is not for you to really know, hey, what do you write in the video cover letter? How do you submit it? And so on and so on. You will get an email, as Payal said, within 24 hours, and and each assignment will have meticulous details as to what do we need from it, how would you go about submitting it, how long will it take for us to get back to you as a response, and all of these are, this is kind of a pipeline process where as you go from one step to the other, if you make it, you will really get a congratulatory email. If you don't make it, we will tell you that you've not made it. So we do understand you put in the effort, and so we want to at least be courteous. If you don't make it, we tell you that you won't be able, that you're not able to do this. Also, you will get the recording of this this company orientation along with the first assignment as well. So
You'll also get the links that we have shared with you at each and every point, so that you have those
mm,
readily accessible for you. Yeah, so again, do your best with these assignments. As I said, we have kept our schedules open for the weekend as well as for the next week, so that we continuously evaluate your assignments and give you the next steps accordingly, right? So the ball is in your court. Submit them, do your best, and then, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
yes, and so just everyone should get their first assignments tomorrow, right? Including
Yes,
the QA
yes,
tester positions. Yes.
yes.
Okay.
Everyone is going to get an assignment tomorrow. Yeah, 9 a.m.
And okay, that's about it. So thank you very much for joining us. And if for those of you from the e-GMAT team who are in a decent position to present their faces, I think it'll be good to turn your videos on at this time. Um, if you are in a position. So yeah. Uh, so thank you very much, and we will see you. We'll get to see your videos and your assignments in the near future. All right. Let me see if there are any questions. Hold on in the Q&A pod. Yeah, I think
I
the
think
assignment. Yeah, yeah.
somebody in the chat said that they have a question regarding the presentation. Yeah, so post your question in the Q&A pod.
Yeah. How does the HR department currently looks in the company, and what are your plans for the next 1 or 2 years? We actually don't have an HR department. Let me just say this: we have a very strong policy department here, and just because we are a company where people are super passionate. I mean, Aditi, for example, right now down with COVID, she's still here, and that's why I think her video is not on because usually she's super presentable. The as individuals, we've never felt the need for that to happen because we've been very very clear with our communication. Right now we are looking at that level of scale where we want someone who's dedicated, who ensures that this is done. So what are your plans for the next 2 years? So the HR department is going to be managing, as Payal talked about, a bunch of hiring processes. Absolutely, this is the first hiring process in 2022. We'll be doing at least two more hiring processes. One that we planned for end of March, the other one sometime in July. In addition, managing competence, ensuring trainings are done on time, ensuring people go through it. So that's something that we do today internally very very well, and you'd be inheriting the process that we have and improving upon it.
Think about all the skill matrices that we presented. The HR manager would be responsible to maintain these skill matrices for each and every employee in the company,
Mm.
right? So that you get to the next level with our support, right? There was a question about the reviews, Rajat. I want to ask, is all these reviews real? Is it real or generated by bots? I would suggest you go back to my recording, and when I explain to you how these reviews have been posted, please go back to that part of the recording.
Okay. The other piece, being an HR, would you be able to participate in other departments such as SEO and sales? Would you be able to do SEO? Would you be able to do sales? Absolutely not. But would you know what they're doing? Yes. I mean, um, one of the other things that is something which if you contact any e-GMAT, you would know, an employee would know, is most people know what's going on within the company. Everyone has access to how much money we make every day, every hour within the company. Um, what internally our stock back prices are. That's something that we update every 4 or 5 months or so right now. So you would know everything that's going on. You'll have access to that data. Would you be able to do it? No, because again, as I said, we believe in excellence, and if you can't be excellent in sales if you are an HR person. Um, do you have to come to the office for an interview? This is we started this company as a virtual company right in 2010. We actually built offices because people wanted to come to office, not because we
We wanted
wanted.
them to come to
Yeah,
office.
yes, we wanted them to come to office. So yeah. Now we do plan to. So we don't have offices anymore because of COVID. We actually closed our offices in March of 2020. We do plan to resume offices some point in the near future because, as I said, people want to come to office. So in Delhi and Bangalore. So in fact, right now, a bunch of people who don't like working from home work from various offices. Yeah. MBA fresher applied for HR position. Are you eligible? Again, go through the process. So for us, a lot of this, again, we don't even look at your resume. I mean,
I
I'm from
should have
I,
mentioned that part, yes. Yeah.
I'm from IIT. I don't care if you're from IIT if you can't do my assignment. You can be from any place as long as you excel in the assignments. That's when you get considered. We look at your resume right before the last stage when we interview. That is the only time we look at your resume, not before that.
Yeah. So we
So,
take a printout of your resume 1 hour before your interview
mm,
time so that we can take a look at your resume in the context of the assignments that you've submitted. So yeah.
mm,
So as long as you're doing well in the assignments, you will get through the funnel. Now I have a question here. While I understand that the process can be completed within this week, but is there a strict deadline for the submissions? Well, that's a good question. It's a first. If we fill in the positions, then yes, even if your assignment is good, it would be difficult for us to consider you. But that being said, continue doing the assignments till the time we don't close the positions. They will remain open. So yeah, continue putting the assignments. But we don't expect this hiring round to go any more than 2 weeks. So
mm.
latest by the end of next following week after the next week.
Okay. KPIs for SEO Manager. I think I'm going to add this, and then Juhi, you can add this as well. So I think I'm going to add some context. You have a very solid blog today. It's probably one of the top three blogs in the MBA world. It has upwards of what, Juhi, 500 posts. So one of the things is to maintain that, to make sure that you stay updated with everything that Google does. And then the second piece is to drive the next set of growth. So plan the next set of growth, which set of SERP terms are going to drive those growths. Work with people within the company to create content for those SERP terms, and then make sure it ranks. In some cases, you may have to work with a tech team to ensure that we have the right kind of widgets in there, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of my piece. Juhi, you want to add something to it?
Another thing is that we are already at around 7 lakh monthly page views, and this is just in within 3 years of active work on SEO. So you have to absolutely add to the traffic which we get, because this is a very good opportunity for you to scale this traffic up from 7 lakh to 10 lakh in this year. So yeah, or more.
Did we ever do classroom teaching? No. Just another question. No. We hate classroom teaching. Let me just say this. The amount of data you can get and the kind of feedback and personalization you can get in a live. We actually don't do a lot of live teaching as well. We do self-paced learning, but the only teaching that we would do, and we do hold webinars, is live, just because of the kind of personalization that we can do
Yeah.
in a live webinar. You can't do that in a real classroom.
So, guys, one thing that I would want to add here is that the intent of this meeting was to give you information about us, right? But I want you to take this meeting and then also just do search, look at our YouTube videos, look at our website, look at our reviews on GMAT Club, so that you put it all in context and see whether this is the right company for you. Also, look at the job descriptions in excruciating detail. Each and every job description has been written with exactly what is it that you would be doing. So make sure that you understand that. Look at the skill matrix that we have explained in this meeting, so that you put it all together and then make the conscious decision. Okay.
One of the other things I think which is there is, Pi talked about the skill metrics. We don't expect you to have these the knowledge of these things. This is we as a company, we are very, very, very big on training you. We do expect you to have a logical thought process, which is how all the assignments are designed. They don't require you to have prior knowledge. Barring, I think the SEO assignment is probably the only assignment that requires you to have prior knowledge. But other than that, pretty much every assignment requires a logical thought process, requires the ability to look at information and make logical claims about it, or requires that you put your thoughts in a fashion that's very well organized. These are the core skills that we look for, and beyond that, we believe we can teach you stuff, and we can train you on things as long as you bring those core capabilities.
Yeah.
I think those are all. Since you're talking about taking initiative, do we also get to dabble into other profiles? No, taking initiatives is about solving problems that our students have, and so can you dabble into other profiles? No, you can transition into other profiles if you hire your replacement. So at e-GMAT, we have this thing. If you excel in a position, you say, hey, I've already done this and I've showed that I can do this well. You're free to go to any other position as long as you hire your replacement. So that's something that we allow you to do. I mean, I think the example that I have over here, two people, actually three people, four folks actually. When I look at it, so many of you have done this. So Atul started from our e-learning department, then went on to a program management piece. He actually e-learning to design to program management, now he's the COO of the company. Aditi started from our customer success to business operations consultant. Now she's a part of the program management team. She's also done product. I think she's one of our best analytics person that we have as well. Lohit again started from e-learning. Now he's the one who manages the design language. Juhi is one of, I think, our one of the first 10 people at e-GMAT, and Juhi started with what was it, operations or sales? What did you start with?
Sales.
Customer success, yeah.
Yeah,
Customer
so
success. Oh, I forgot.
yeah, she started with customer success. Then she went into sales, marketing, and she's right now part of the executive team. She just fills in roles. Yeah. Okay. So yes. Okay, I think that's pretty much all the pieces over here. Everything else that you need, guys, is either available on the careers page. I think we should provide a link to the careers page as well as it be communicated through assignments. So I want to thank you very much for joining us. Julia, I know you're typing an answer. Let's finish typing an answer. So I think, yeah, good. Thank you. And
Good luck,
bye.
everyone. We look forward